This video will be just like getting started with programming. I am assuming that you have no knowledge about programming and you haven't ever programmed in any language. And this video will be very basic, and I will not go through the very complicated concepts like the how actually linkers works or the compiler works, but I will tell you how to just compile your code to get it running so that you will not get messed up around what is the loader, what is the linker, what is the compiler, what is the GCC or Clang or something else, right? So if you haven't any experience in programming, then this video is for you and you can watch through, and this is gonna be a very simplest or beginner series and you can follow this series, right? And this video will be more intended toward the C and C++ programming, and I will teach you the core concepts in programming. For example, the functions or the classes, or what are the objects, how the memory is allocated, how to work with them, what are the pointers, and how to create simplest programs so that you don't have to scratch your head over this series. I will also let you aware of other languages like the C#. When it comes to the programming, you may ask that why should I learn programming? You may say that I have everything in my computer. I have text editor, I have video editor, everything. Why I should learn programming? The answer lies in the different needs of a different user. If you're a scientific user, then you may need a specialized software which will be able to perform mathematical calculations and physical calculations, right? And if you are related to education, then you may need a specialized teaching software. That is why we learn programming, to serve a different user, different customers with their specialized softwares. So let's go ahead. I have some bullet points and you should note that throughout this video that we will stick around those points. The first one is what is a source code. We will understand that what is a source code. It is actually a text file which describes a language. And the second thing we will see, the text editors. That means since a source code is a text file, we have to edit them. And how we can edit them? In the Notepad or the Sublime text, or there are many kind of text editors. So we have text editors to edit those text files. Note that text editors are also softwares that are intended for manipulating text. Okay, so how text file is converted to binary code? Essentially, a source code is converted into binary code, and this is a complicated process, but here we will learn just about the basics. Okay. So the next we will learn about the compilers. What are the compilers, or how many compilers exist, or what kind of compilers we have to use. And the fifth thing we will learn about the linkers. Linkers are those softwares which link the objects files and creates an executable. And we have the loaders. Loaders are the programs that load the actual executable binary into our memory and sets up the program counter or everything else to be executed the program into our CPU, right? This is what we call the loaders. Okay, let's go ahead. So we have text editors. What are the text editors? Text editors are the softwares, specialized software intended just for editing text. What is the text? You know that whatever you type, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, everything else is called a text, right? So we have the Notepad and the Notepad++ and the Sublime text and Atom, Vim, and others. There are many text editors, but some of these are most popular, and I use the Sublime text. And Sublime text I have used most, and Notepad++ is very good also. But Notepad is not very much productive. So if you want to edit the multiple lines at the same time, you can't do this into the Notepad. So you should use some specialized text editors like the Sublime text or the Notepad++. If you are in Linux, then you can use the Vim or the Nano. Okay, so let's have a look at the Sublime text. I have a Sublime text open here, and this is the source code, right? It uses the tab-based architecture of opening the text files into separate tabs, and this is a very good thing. So what is the advantage of using the Sublime text or something very specialized text editor? Is that you can edit multiple things at the same time, or you can search through or replace a certain name, right? For example, if you want to edit these two lines at the same time, then you can use Alt, then you can press Alt key and Control at the same time, and then press down arrow key. Then you can see that the caret becomes very long. Now we can write anything what we want. For example, we can prefix something names like the TT something. Okay, but it doesn't make sense here. We can also find something like main, right? For example, if I have something more like main function. Okay, now you can see that it is showing, it is highlighting those keywords that we have typed here, and now we can also replace them, right? Let's find all, and now I can replace here, let's say giga. This is why we use text editors to edit code. Now let's see compiler process, how the source code is compiled into our binary code, because computer don't understand the text file, they don't understand ABCD or 1 2 3 4, they understand high low or the 0 1, right? They understand the signals, they understand the 0 1 signal, and this is what we call the compilation process. All the text file or the source code is compiled into a binary code. Okay, so we have the source code here, and this could be any language. It is a text file. Note that it is a text file, and everything which is written in that source code may follow a particular pattern or the grammar that is related to a specific language. It can be a C sharp, C++. So we have the source code, and we have to compile this into binaries. You can see that on the right side we have binaries, and how we can convert this source code into this binary so that the computer can understand. How we can convert this source code into a binary file so that the computer or the CPU can understand it or execute it. So here we have a compiler. It is also a software which works on very low level. So the compiler takes the input as a source file and outputs to the binary, and the binary is called a binary file. So let's go ahead. How many compilers we have, or what kind of compilers we should use, right? So first of all, we have the GCC. The full form of this GCC is the GNU Compiler Collection. That means it is a collection of compilers. It contains the Fortran compilers, Ada compiler, or the C++ compilers, C compilers, and many much more things. Okay, so we have the GCC compiler, and we will see how to download them into your computer so that you can play around these compilers and learn through how they work actually. Okay, and now we have the second, the Clang, and I haven't ever used the Clang, and therefore I will use GCC in this video, and throughout this series we will use GCC, right? And this is also called the MSVC. It is developed by the Microsoft. The full form of this MSVC is the Microsoft Visual Compiler. It is also a multiple language compiler. There are many other compilers which are made for a specific language that are proprietary, or just they are not general purpose. They are used in the scientific area or the business area, or the scripting languages which are proprietary, like in the gaming studio. So this is pretty much for this video, and in the next video we will see the use of Sublime Text and how to use them, and we will learn more about the IDEs, which is something called Integrated Development Environment. And if you like this video, then make sure to subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching.